Hey, welcome to the Sunday preview for this next Sunday in Lent. And we have this story of Jesus raising his friend Lazarus from the dead. Now, remember, this isn't the same Lazarus. Jesus told the story about the rich man and Lazarus. That was kind of a story he made up, to make a point. But this is his friend Lazarus, who is the brother of Martha and Mary. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's like 10 minutes long just to read the gospel. But you know the story. And Jesus hears that his friend Lazarus is sick. They send for him, but Jesus doesn't come right away. And it's a long journey from Galilee down. And so Lazarus is already dead for 4 days in the tomb by the time Jesus gets there. And Martha goes out to him, the sister of Lazarus. And she says, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know whatever you ask of God, God will give you." And Jesus says, "Your brother will rise." And she says, "I know he'll rise in the resurrection on the last day." And Jesus challenges her to have faith. And Jesus knows what he's going to do. And he's going to raise Lazarus from the dead. And this is going to be a really important moment in the Gospel of St. John, because they're already plotting to kill Jesus. Because he's already claimed to be Lord of the Sabbath, and he does cures on the Sabbath day that enraged the Pharisees. In chapter 5 and chapter 6, he talks about, he multiplies the loaves and fishes, and he says, "Unless you eat my body and drink my blood, you'll have no life in you." And they started to plot to kill him after that. And now he raises somebody from the dead, and after that, they start plotting to kill both him and Lazarus. But Jesus goes out to the tomb and he weeps. And it's interesting. Why does he weep if he knows what he's going to do? He's going to raise Lazarus from the dead. He should just go out there, whistling and smiling and say, "Watch this." But he doesn't. He weeps. And I think that's because Jesus is there confronting the reality of human death. And he's going to show his power over that death. But that death is tragic nonetheless. And from Jesus' point of view, death was never part of God's plan. God created us, put us in paradise, and wanted us to live forever with him, in union with him. But sin entered the world and brought death with it. And the evil one was the architect of death. And so Jesus is weeping not just for his friend Lazarus, yes, that, but something much more, that the whole mystery of human suffering and death is ultimately traceable back to the power of evil. And Jesus has come into the world to offer himself and sacrifice himself to overcome that suffering and death through his own suffering and death. So that's why Jesus weeps, because all of this was so unnecessary if we had only followed God's plan. But he's going to bring something greater about. And he raises Lazarus up from the dead. So we should look forward to our resurrection, because Christ has died for us too. And he will raise us up.